When you hear the names of the Green Bay Packers or the Dallas Cowboys, you think of excellence. You think of Hall of Famers, Super Bowls, championships, and legendary coaches. But tonight, Green Bay and Dallas, they don't want to win. In fact, they do want to win. In fact, they don't want to advance. They don't want to win this championship because this championship is different. Unlike the other tournaments where you sweat it out and hope that you win many games, they just want to win one. Why? Because this is the Toilet Bowl. The Toilet Bowl, the worst teams in the history of the NFL. Each franchise gets one entry into the tournament. It is the worst simple rating systems team there is. Simple rating system. The SRS is the relation to the other teams in the league. It's a rating system. It gives you a number. The higher the number, the better you are. The lower the number, and even into the negatives, it shows how bad you are in relation to the other teams in that league in that year. And we have actually 34 of them, but our first game is tonight. It'll be the 1958 Green Bay Packers and the 1989 Dallas Cowboys. Take a look at this entire tournament, and it all starts in the play-in games. The play-in games last week, we broadcasted Baltimore and Minnesota. A great game, actually. 24-21, the 1996 Ravens. No, it wasn't Joe Flacco. It was Benny Testaverde. Testaverde in Baltimore, they kicked the last-second field goal. They beat Minnesota. And why is Minnesota there? Very simply, when you lose, you move on. When you win, you're out. It's like those old Little League baseball tournaments when you want to go home early on a Sunday. In the other games, you could see how bad the 1969 Chicago Bears were. As Houston, the Texans won 52-14. It wasn't even a game. It was 28-0 after one quarter of play. And it was just an absolute garbage game. But being in a first round, as you can see, the first round of the tournament, we're going to have a lot of great games here because the one thing about this tournament is the play is going to digress. The worse and the more we go. So when you take a look at Green Bay and Dallas, and you take a look at all of these teams, there's going to be some very, very good games here. So today, Dallas and Green Bay. Now, the funny part is this. When you hear about Dallas versus Green Bay, you think about championships. You think about great games and great quarterbacks. Well, in 1989 Dallas, they have Troy Aikman. He's a quarterback. He started his career with Oklahoma, then got hurt, and he went to UCLA. He finished up his college career at UCLA, got drafted by the Cowboys, and he was stuck on a team that went 1-15. When you look at the Green Bay Packers, they're very similar to the 1989 Dallas Cowboys, only they did not have Bart Starr. They didn't have Brian Bartlett Starr. They had Babe Parilli. But Babe Parilli in the AFL had some very good years. In fact, Babe Parilli got in and he threw one pass in Super Bowl III. So Babe Parilli was with the New England Patriots in the 60s and one of the better teams in the AFL. So we have two Hall of Fame quarterbacks, but really at the beginning of their careers. And also another similarity is both these teams within 3 years were in the title hunt. In 2 years, Green Bay lost the 1960 championship to the Eagles. They lost on the 5-yard line when Paul Hornung was tackled. It was the only postseason game Vince Lombardi ever lost. It's good to get your one out of the way with. And in a couple of years, the Dallas Cowboys went on to the playoffs, played well. And then in 1992, they won the Super Bowl, 52-17. That's right, a 35-point shellacking of the Buffalo Bills, in which the Bills had 9 turnovers. And Dallas in just 3 years. So we're seeing two up-and-coming teams. And as we said before, there's different kinds of bads. There's bad where it is just absolutely horrible players, the management's a mess, and there's no philosophy. There's bad in the fact that you have good players, but there's no cohesion. And the last one is you have good players, but they're not there yet, and you have some holes. And right now, this is before Lombardi got to Green Bay, Jimmy Johnson in his first year. So these are some good teams, and there are some holes there. As you can see, we're in New City Stadium. Curly Lambeau, the field wasn't named after him yet. It was New City Stadium here in Green Bay, as it'll be Dallas and Green Bay of 1958. And we're going to be ready to go. Horning's going to kick off, and we're underway. Paul Horning, the guy that controversially won the Heisman Trophy off a 2-8 Notre Dame team, will kick off to Dixon, and it's going to be a touchback. People forget Paul Horning was suspended by the NFL because he was gambling, but that happens. Him and Joe Namath got in trouble there. This is the Toilet Bowl, so sometimes we revisit the lowlights of some of these players. We'd like to keep it the highlights, but come on, it's the Toilet Bowl, and it fits with the theme. First down and 10 for Aikman. They do have Johnson in the backfield, and Emmitt Smith is still at the University of Florida. They have Kelvin Martin, and they have Shepard. Aikman, he's going to throw quickly to Folsom. And it's going to be a gain of 6. It'll be second down and 4. So Dallas is going to hit the 5 to 6 yard range of their passing. Second and 4 for Aikman. And it's going to be the handoff to Palmer, and he's going to get about 2 yards there as they spot it back a yard. It'll be third down and 2. I think it's very important that Dallas gets something early because they are at Green Bay, and it doesn't matter how good you are. That road team playing at Green Bay, it's hard to do. So third down and 2. And they're going to pitch it out to Palmer. He looks like he's going to get it, and he will. A first down for Dallas. And 3 downs it takes them to get a first down. So I formation now. They got to go to Moose here soon. Aikman, he's going to throw quickly, and the receiver fell down. So Shepard fell down. This New City Stadium grass looks like my backyard. There's crabgrass all over them. I'm in Thailand now, so it looks all muddy. In the second down, it's been raining all day. Blitz is on. They give to Palmer. He runs through the blitz. He fumbles, and Green Bay has it. Green Bay has it early. And you can see this right through the middle. Palmer out the split backs to try and split the defense. He broke the first line of the blitzers. Broke them all. And he had a chance to go. And when you look downfield, I'll tell you what, when those running backs' eyes go up, you watch the hips and you watch the blocking. And when you see daylight, you tend to forget everything that's around you. And what happened was somebody came in by the side, fumbled the football, and Green Bay's going to take over. So it's big. You have Perilli, the quarterback, McElhaney, the running back. You have 3 receivers and a tight end, Mellinger, here. So they're going to give to McElhaney, and he's going to get a gain of 4. It'll be second down and 6. In the second and 6, the kicking game's going to be the wonder. If Paul Horning kicks, you're looking at a 40-yard range here. Second down, Starr.
Third down.
And they actually have Bart Starr here. So it'll be third down and 7. So Bart Starr's in the game. He's got to be a rookie. Third down, Starr. And he's sacked. And that is a big sack by Broughton. And Broughton needed to get him, and he did. That was a huge sack in the fact that it just got him out of field goal range. And McGee is going to kick here. So McGee's going to punt. He's going to try and angle it. And this thing will go into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. Early on, 1 possession each. A turnover for Green Bay and a touchback for Dallas. And we're still scoreless here. It'll be first down and 10. And there's going to be a flag, our first of the day. It'll be a false start on Dallas. And it'll be first down and 15. That hurts the short passing game because you're using it down just to get it back. First down, and it's going to be incomplete. They try to go downfield for about 10 yards. He tried to hit Folsom. It'll be second down. Second down for Dallas. Aikman to throw. He's going to throw it downfield. It's intercepted. It's intercepted by Samac. And it's intercepted. A big interception here. Watch this. Aikman back to throw. Perfect time. He threw it early.
Intercepted.
And that's Simic was just there, and he held on to it. And now Green Bay has a golden opportunity here early. They got to score one of these possessions. Starr, first down. He's going to throw, and it's going to be incomplete. It's funny because Bart Starr and Troy Aikman are 2 or 3 years away from being in championship games. You get to see the early version of both. It'll be second down. Hopefully Starr makes it through here. The blitz is on. They screen against the blitz. McElhaney, and that's going to be a third down. Actually, it wasn't a blitz. It was a screen pass. Sometimes it looks like a blitz if you don't block it right. It'll be third down and 3 for Green Bay. Starr to McElhaney. He's got first down and more, down to the 15-yard line. So McElhaney a gain of 6. And easily Green Bay's controlling this offensive line. First and 10, a par formation. That blitz is on.
Second down.
Paul Hornung gets nothing. He loses 1 here. It'll be second down and 10. There's the trap. Second and 10. I look for Hornung to break one of these. Hornung, there he is. He breaks it, and he goes down to the 4-yard line. Hornung, a gain of 11. And Norton, it'll be a first down. Oh, my goodness. They're trying to play against the pass. It'll be first down and goal. The goal line defense is up there. They give to Hornung, and he scores right through the middle. Paul Hornung, 5 yards. And the Green Bay Packers, they got everybody up. And the offensive line, all you do is stop that early. And if they can get through the line, that's it. It's a touchdown. And that's it, Paul Hornung. And now this is going to be an adventure. And Hornung, it is up and it is good. Pirelli with the hold. And Paul Hornung, and it'll make it 7-0. 8:09 to go in the first 6 plays. 28 yards. And that was huge. Green Bay's second possession, they score. So there's the kick. Here comes Shepard. Here comes Dallas at break 1. They go up to the 26-yard line. Up to the 27. Now Dallas has had 2 possessions. Dallas has fumbled the football and thrown an interception. And that's the thing about Dallas in 1989. It isn't the talent. It isn't the fact they can't move the ball and got a punt. It's the fact they turn it over. So it'll be first down and 10 for Dallas. Aikman. And Aikman, he got it to Shepard. Shepard to the 45, to the 40. Here comes Shepard down to the 30. Shepard to the 20-yard line.
Down.
Oh, I got a peanut stuck in my throat, so that's why I just stopped that. And here comes Aikman, but take a look at this. The blitz was on. I thought it was a screen pass because before it looked like a screen. And here's Shepard. He gets it. When you get one-on-one, then it's a race. It's a foot race. And Shepard goes all the way down to the 20. I choked on a peanut about the 30-yard line. But 52 yards. And here comes Dallas. This could be a very offensive and interesting game. Maybe 800 to 900 yards of offense. First and 10, Aikman gives to Palmer. Palmer again, he's going to get about a gain of 2. It'll be second down and 8 to sweep left. Second and 8, Aikman. Aikman to throw. This is a screen to Palmer to the near side. Palmer breaks a couple. And it'll be third down and 2. So it'll be third down and 2. Ray Nitschke with the stop there. So third down and 2. They get to Palmer on the split backs. They try. It looked like a counter there. They sweep left with the halfback on the right side. It'll be 4th and 2, and now they're going to kick. Here comes Roger Ruzek. Roger Ruzek to make it 7-3. Walsh the hold from the University of Miami. It is up and it is good. And Walsh, who was trade fodder, he was drafted, and then he knew he was just there to be traded as Troy Aikman. He held, and Ruzek hit the field goal. 5 plays, 60 yards. And about 3 minutes with 5:14 to go here in the first. So Dallas has a 7-3 lead over Dallas. And Green Bay has, a 7-3 lead over Dallas. A short kick to the 5-yard line. Here's Hornung. He's dangerous. He can go. The Heisman winner, and he got it over the 33-yard line. The biggest thing about Paul Hornung, he won the Heisman Trophy. Guess who lost? Well, there was Tommy McDonald out of Oklahoma. And there was also Jim Brown. Yeah, the greatest college athlete of all time lost to Paul Hornung in the Heisman Trophy. And Paul Hornung went 2-8. He didn't have great stats. I understand you're on a 2-8 team, but it's like, come on. But anyway, first down and 10. I would have voted for Jim Brown. Just because I wouldn't want him to beat me up if I didn't. And there's going to be the incomplete pass. Of course, Jim Brown also played lacrosse, one of the best players in Syracuse history. So Starr tried to hit Houghton. It'll be second down. Second and 10. They're throwing the football a lot. Starr puts it down the middle to McGee, and he's going to get a gain of 6. It'll be third down and 4. So under 5 minutes to go, 3rd and 4. With under 4.5 to go. Starr, quick throws, and it's incomplete. Well, remember last week in the rain, that 3-step drop, and both Minnesota had a hard time. They threw an interception on that. So it'll be 4th down, and now they're going to punt McGee. McGee will punt it. Dallas with a big hold here. And Dallas with 2 turnovers in the early stages. They have not, as Shepard will get 3 yards on the return. They have not punted. 2 turnovers and a field goal for Dallas. It'll be 1st and 10. They get to Johnson.
2nd down.
And it's going to be nothing there. It'll be 2nd and 10. Moose can't get up the line. 2nd down and 10 with under 3.5. Aikman.
Incomplete.
He's going to throw, and it's going to be incomplete.
Down.
It'll be 3rd down and 10 now. 3rd and 10. I wonder if they screen this. Aikman. Oh, it's going to be a quick throw, and it's incomplete. And it'll be 4th and 10, a 3 and out, and they don't even get a yard. And here comes Saxon to kick. As Green Bay will get it back, and they want to try and get up 2 scores. So Dallas is going to kick it off. They go to about the 43, up to the 45. Gain about 1.5 for 1 yard. So it'll be 1st down and 10 for Green Bay. 3:13 to go first quarter. They pitch it to Horning. He's been breaking them free.
2nd down.
And Horning going to get a gain of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. We didn't see Paul Horning in the last series. We didn't see him breaking it out on the side. He's one of the few runners in this game and simulated anywhere that when he gets outside, he's dangerous. It'll be 2nd down and 6. Star, and they hand it to McElhaney.
3rd down.
And McElhaney only gets a yard maybe, but he gets nothing there. It'll be 3rd down and 6. 3rd and 6, Star in a gun. He's there so his line doesn't get him killed. And it's going to be incomplete there, and now they're going to kick. But now it's a territorial gain as McGee's going to try and angle it, and there it is. Will McGee get it close? This will be returnable to the 8. Martin, and Kelvin Martin will be up to the 14-yard line. So it'll be 1st down for Dallas. About 1.5 minutes to go. Aikman with Johnson and Palmer in the backfield. Aikman, they pitch it to Palmer on the near side.
2nd
He gets
down.
a few. He gets 6. It'll be 2nd and 4. Some of them about 6-yard gains on 1st down. That's the 3rd time this game we've had a 6-yard gain on 1st and 10. 2nd and 4 for Dallas. The clock going about a minute. Aikman, he'll throw. It's incomplete.
3rd down.
Man, nobody's getting any of these. It'll be 3rd and 4. I think they got to run the football more, bring everybody up, and make it a little easier. So it'll be 3rd down and 4. Aikman will give to Palmer, and he's not going to get a lot. He halves it. He gets 2 of the 4, and it'll be 4th and 2. And Saxon will kick. Green Bay 7, Dallas 3, as the punt will go from Saxon. And it is early. They're going to play for the return. This is a line drive. This could go. Carmichael, and it doesn't go. And a gain of 5 on a return. Would be the last play of the first quarter. Star, 3 receivers, and McElhaney, the running back. They drive to McElhaney, and he's not going to get anything. So now we have the end of the first quarter. It'll be Green Bay 7 and Dallas 3. Taking a look really quickly at the team stats. You take a look at the first downs, it's only 3-2. You don't have any long drives or anything to that effect. The passing is very difficult. It is. And when you take a look at the penalties, pretty clean game. I thought when Dallas jumped off sides early, when they had a false start, that would be a pattern, but it isn't. Dallas has their only field goal. They're 1-1, but the 3rd down conversions, both teams 1 of 4, and you see that a lot in bad football teams. Those 3rd down conversions, doesn't matter whether it's short or long, they are tough. So we have a special guest with us. It's Mike in the truck. We have a truck full of people working really hard to bring this game to you. And the producer right there, Mike in the truck. Mike is kind of the spokesman for everybody there. Mike, the feeling in a truck, what does everybody feel how the game is going?
Well, at first it just looked like a complete disaster for Dallas. Yeah, 2 turnovers almost immediately. But Green Bay was only able to capitalize once. Then they gained their composure and drove right down the field. And right now it's a standoff. Green Bay really hasn't shown that much. They just happened to have their defense had 2 big plays at the beginning of the game. But they really haven't shown that much. Dallas is the only team that drove down the field. They only got a field goal, but they drove down the field. So it it's a matter of who can establish themselves and keep the pace up right now, because Dallas came from the lowest of lows to a good drive, but they're the only team that's had a drive. So this is still a coin flip.
I would agree with you. I think the coin flip, with the coin flip, you usually go with the more experienced players at the big positions. You go with the quarterback, you go with the left tackle or the opposite tackle of the hand of the quarterback, and you go with the linebackers. But with everybody so young in this game, with both field generals out there basically in basic training. I mean, I agree with you. It's really up in the air. When you see Paul Hornung, the fullback, I mean, he's only a second or third year player at this point, if that. And Paul Hornung is running well to the outside. I could see Paul Hornung breaking one and going maybe 40 or 50 yards for a score.
Well,
But
and that's in the cards. I mean, if you take a look at Dallas rushing. They've had 8 rushes for 16 yards, where Green Bay has had 9 um, for 28 yards. And Green Bay's going to rush more. They're traditionally, I mean, there was that one series where Green Bay was throwing all the time, but Green Bay is more of a rushing team and Dallas is more of a passing team, which leads me to think that if you take a look at Dallas, their passing, Aikman was 3 of 9, where Starr was 2 of 6. So neither is doing very well, but you see Aikman's throwing more, and time of possession was approximately the same. If you see here, so I, it could actually come down to, if Dallas is going to continue to throw the ball. It looks like Green Bay is a little better running. What kind of game does Aikman have? So that could be a key to this game.
Well, we have a normal pace game here, usually 120 plays in a football game in the NFL, 140 in college because of clock stoppages. But here, it's 32 plays. I think the rushing, you were right there. Dallas is averaging 3.14 a rush. That's 3 1/7 a rush. And Green Bay's averaging no, it's the other way. Dallas is averaging 2 yards a rush, and Green Bay is averaging about, I would say, 3.1 a rush, 3.1 repeating a rush. So Green Bay, that extra yard, but remember the old saying, 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 is more than 10. So if you get 3 yards a rush, you can keep going and going and going.
That's right.
So I would say, as we begin the second quarter here, I would say the biggest thing, I still think that this is going to be a slogfest, and I think somebody is going to break it, and that's going to set the tempo of the game. Whoever breaks the first one.
That could very well be. And I'll turn the game back over to you. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, as it's going to be 2nd down and 10. For Green Bay, as we begin the second quarter, they give to Hornung. And Hornung down to the near side. Down. He's going to get a gain of 6. It'll be 3rd down and 4. So 3rd down and 4 for Green Bay. They have 3 receivers. McElhaney, and that's a flag, and that's a big one. Because when you're not a great football team and you have a 5 to 6 yard throwing, it's on Dallas and a 1st down. Oh, Dallas, that's going to be big. I'm just so used to Green Bay jumping. And now all of a sudden, that's the second big penalty on Dallas. All the penalties. Good enough. The blitz is on. Fumble, and it's going to be Green Bay's, and Green Bay will keep it. It'll be 2nd and 10. Wow, it's funny. Last week there was rain all over the place. We had 1 fumble all game. Now we got about 3 of them. 2nd down.
Incomplete.
And it's going to be incomplete. It'll be 3rd down, and he's 2 of 7 now. 3rd and 10. Starr to throw, looking. He's going to toss it. It's going to be a little deep. He got it, McGee, and there it is. McGee to the 10 to the 5. He's in. Touchdown. Touchdown, Green Bay from 41 yards. Starr to McGee, and that's the big play we were looking for. You just don't go little dinks and dunks. You just got to throw it. It's like Madden football. I hate to say that. It's like one of those where nobody goes and you just start throwing long. And that's the thing that scores, like 2 high school teams.
Touchdown.
Playing a 0-0 game, you break one like that. A long touchdown, and that's McGee. That's Max McGee. Max McGee. He scored the first touchdown ever in the Super Bowl. And he scored the second one here. So here's Hornung, the long extra point. It's hard to believe that they're going to hit all of these. It'll be up and over, and it is good.
It's
through
good.
the H goalposts. And instead of the slingshot, they got the old H goalpost. And it's now 14-3. Max McGee, as Horning will kick off. McGee forgot his helmet, and he had to borrow the kickers. And that was the funny part. He was hung over. And Dixon up to the 30-35 to the 37. Something about Max McGee, you remember Chili's, the restaurant, he was part founder of that, and Chili's was the nickname for his wife. So it'll be first down and 10 for Dallas. And here's Aikman to give it to Moose.
Second down.
And he's only going to get a yard. Fullbacks don't really work. Well, first of all, they trapped against an odd front. If you count the men at the very front of the line, if it's an odd number, you got to ISO. If it's an even number, you trap because you get the angles. And they trap, number one, but number two, fullback runs are supposed to be quick hitters, which get the fullback to the linebacker very quick. What they did was almost a handoff, like a Rocky Blyer type with a guy that's power, and power works when you get momentum, and he got none there. And that's been their philosophy all game, and Johnson is really suffering. It's going to be second down and 9. Aikman, they draw it to Palmer, and it'll be third down and 11. They lose 2. So it'll be third and 11. Green Bay winning here. And they go to Moose. Around to the outside. They don't care how much he gets as long as he's in front of the stick. And it'll be fourth down. It'll be fourth and 8. And now Saxon will come in again. Green Bay is threatening now. They're threatening to blow this thing open. It's going to be a deep kick to the 10-yard line, and it's going to be to the 20. We all remember Troy Aikman. For his years he played for Dallas, he didn't really play so many years for Dallas because of concussions and all that effect. I'm thinking he only played 9 or 10 years. But the biggest thing is this. We think of Green Bay, we think of Aikman throwing touchdowns, but this is not that Aikman. This is the rookie Aikman. You got to remember that. You don't rate players like a rookie. Starr will throw it deep, and again he's got a man, and it's incomplete. He tried to hit Houghton and couldn't have it. It'll be second down. So you rate players by how they are in the season. If you give to Horning again, he's going to have no gain there. You rate them by how they are in the season and not how they are when they're Hall of Fame. Third down. Starr. McElhaney is back. Starr, quick throw. And he goes 3 and out. And it'll be fourth down and 10. And Dallas is like, well, a big play. McGee. Oh, they're getting close. That thing might be blocked one of these times. To the 39, Shepard. And that'll be up to the 47-yard line. Shepard first down and 10. So you got Palmer and Johnson again, the split backs. Aikman. The blitz is on, and it's incomplete. He fell down. The second time today, the running back fell down. Palmer. Second down. Aikman, they hand off to Palmer, split backs. It's going to be a first down. Down to the 40-yard line. It'll be first and 10. The two-point conversion is on. We're playing old teams, but the two-point conversion is on. So a field goal will make it one score. First down and 10 from the 41. Aikman to throw quickly to Folsom.
Second down.
And they're going to gain 4. It'll be second down. Second and 6, 9 minutes to go here in the second. Aikman to throw. The blitz is in. No, he fumbles the football. It doesn't matter what was on. And Green Bay will take over. Green Bay gets it. Oh, this was a big fumble. Dallas is looking good. We told you before, it's not they're bad, it's they're turning it over. That was in the very beginning of the game. I said, hey, it's not because Dallas is bad and Daryl Clack is down for Dallas. He's not a starter, but you need that rotation in running backs because you just don't hand it to the same guy 40 times in a row. First down and 10. Starr Horning, the fullback here. He might get it. No, he's going to be the lead blocker. McElhaney, a gain of 2. We told you at the beginning of the game, it's going to be Dallas is bad because they turn it over. Second down, Starr. And that is a characteristic. Ferguson, he fumbles, and Green Bay gets it back, though. Man, in the coin flip war that is this game, a fumble, it is Green Bay, the luckiest person, the team in the world. Hey, take them to Vegas. They should have moved to Vegas, not the Raiders. Third down, Starr. They get to McElhaney. And McElhaney on the screen there. It'll be 4th and 2. They're going to win the turf war here and kick it back. But I will tell you that Green Bay at the moment, I mean, nobody is really dominating. It's a game of moments. It's almost like a World Series baseball game where it's just a game of moments. There's no flow. First down and 10. You got I formation. Aikman, he's going to throw close. And that fumbles again.
Penalty.
And oh my goodness, the fumble when it is nice weather, there's a penalty. We got to see what that is and sort this out. It's going to be holding. They're going to throw him back. When I used to referee these games between the winless teams, these were the worst because you got all the weird things happening. First down and 10. It's going to be the broken eye away from the tight end, Folsom. They throw to Darrell.
Second down.
Moose, he'll get a yard. It'll be second down and 16. Second and 16 from the 11. Aikman to throw. Looking, he goes down. And Aikman goes down. He's sacked by Ray Nitschke. And this was kind of a covered sack. You take a look. It was a 3-step drop. So he had a wide open Darrell Johnson on the far sideline. And Darrell's like, you throw it to me when there's 3 people on me. He's probably calling the defense over, saying, here, cover me. So they throw me the ball. Third down, we got a 44, and it is extended for Green Bay. Aikman out of the gun. And it's going to be caught by Shepard, but he can't tear away. And it'll be fourth down, Matuzak. It'll be 4th and 5. I wonder if he played for the Raiders later on in his career, the same Matuzak. And Saxton, and he will kick. Yeah, Matuzak, that was unique. I got to check that one up. And that'll be 1st and 10. Now, Matuzak was for Dallas, so he would have been late in his career, and Darryl Clack is recovered. It'll be first down for Starr, but Matuzak, that name, that sounds like a Raider name, McGee.
Second down.
And he might be one of the reasons. He's just a place filler. Yeah. Starr to McGee, a gain of 7. It'll be second down for Green Bay. The blitz is on. Starr's running for his life, and he's got about 5 Cowboys around him.
Out of bounds.
And he gets out of bounds. It'll be 3rd and 3. Smart move by Bart Starr. Get the clock going, not throw it away. 3rd down and 3. Starr. The screen to McElhaney, a first down and more. To the 45-yard line. Here comes McElhaney to the 41. And a first down. Big start to McElhaney, a gain of 18. And here comes Green Bay. It'll be first down and 10. Warning. What was that? Oh, that was an ugly play. He tried to sneak that. And the only person fooled was, I don't know, us. Wondering how in the world that would happen. Second down. 2nd and 11. Starr. He's going to go to McGee. Max McGee. It'll be 3rd down and 3. It's funny. Max McGee is he's a gamer. I mean, in practice, legendary stories, he was horrible. But then he'd go to a game, show up, and, win. He's a typical 1950s athlete, but he played until the late 60s.
2-minute warning.
And it's going to be 2 minutes. 2-minute warning. Green Bay 14, Dallas 3. We're going to go real quickly to Mike in the truck. Mike, I'm watching the second quarter. The passing has gone a little bit better. Remember, it was 3 of 9 in the first quarter for Dallas. It is 4 of 5 in this second quarter for Dallas. They're throwing 4 of 5. It was 2 of 6 in Green Bay, and it is 5 of 8 for Green Bay. And I'm seeing teams that are much better offensively in the second quarter.
I agree, and the key here is turnovers, and that's what's killing Dallas. Now, Green Bay has had its fumbles, but I don't think they've turned the ball over yet. It's all been Dallas losing the ball. And right now, I'd say that's the difference in the game. You look at time of possession, Green Bay has exactly a 2-minute advantage. But this game could come down to turnovers and field position. It really could.
I would agree there with your field generals. When you get to the later stages in the playoffs, I always said turnovers don't lose games. It's responding to turnovers that do. And when you take a look at what both these teams are doing right now, Dallas is turning it over. Green Bay, I believe, has had 7 points off 3 turnovers.
That's exactly
right. I might
be
wrong. Yeah, 7 points off 3 turnovers. So Dallas is keeping themselves in the game by responding very well. But that statistic, that formula only works is if you have comparable turnovers, like if it's 4-3 or 5-3 or something like that. When it's 3-0, that's just giving them 3 possessions. That's like punting on first down. And right now it is Dallas that they're shooting themselves in the foot, because when you do something in the NFL good, you usually can't do it again because people adjust and they know what's coming. So when you have a beautiful drive downfield and you're a bad team and you're using all of your strengths and you turn the ball over, well, all those plays that you use, they're kind of out the window, and you got to start using people like second stringers. And we saw a lot more of Daryl Johnson and all that. And these people are like, hey, wait a second, I'm not good yet. And they're getting carries and they're turning it over, and Aikman's trying to force things that he can't. So I agree with you. I think right now, I think this possession is big. If Green Bay gets a field goal, they're good. If they get a touchdown, it's going to be hard for Dallas.
Well, there's truth to that, but don't forget that Green Bay is going to receive the second half kickoff, and if they actually do a turnover, it could still reverse this game because both teams have been playing sloppy. It's been Green Bay has gotten the advantage because of the turnovers in their field position. That's how they got the first touchdown. And remember, it was off the interception. Now, the very first fumble that happened in the game that Dallas committed, Green Bay was essentially in the red zone, and Dallas defense responded, and or Green Bay's offense couldn't do anything. So they didn't even get a field goal. They got no points to show for it. So, I mean, these teams are generally playing the exact same, in my opinion. It's just that when Dallas has a fumble, they're giving it away where Green Bay is not. And if this flips in the second half, then you could see the same thing. But I will agree with you. I think that even if Green Bay only gets a field goal, they can go into halftime with a 2-touchdown lead. And if it's 21-3 at the half, that might be enough for Green Bay just to hold on, even if Dallas mounts a comeback. Because, again, this is a war of attrition and it's a turnover game. So I agree. I think that this series right now is very, very key to Green Bay, and it could potentially decide the game. So if you're ready, Chris, we can continue on with the last 2 minutes.
Here.
Okay.
Absolutely here. 2 minutes to go. As it'll be, Green Bay is going to be down 2 minutes to go. So this is a big third down because they don't have a great kicker. Star, and it's going to be deep and caught by Max McGee. Max McGee today, I'll tell you what, Max McGee, he's only a Hall of Famer in big games. And the problem is you play so many non-big games in a year. And Star to McGee, and they're going to hurry to the line. They're going to keep their timeouts. They have all three. Star's going to throw it. He's going again to McGee. It's like McGee is great in his rookie year, great in his beginning, and his later years he's great. Where was he in the middle? Star to Horning. Star, and he's going to go down to the 7. Are they going to hurry it up? They have all 3 timeouts under a minute. No, they're using the clock. To the 7-yard line. Star, the blitz is on. It's going to be a screen. He's going to be close. He's down to the 1-yard line, and they're going to have to use a timeout here. And they will. So it'll be second down and goal. And this is very big. 12 seconds to go. Dallas, Star. And this is Green Bay. They go to McGee again. I'll tell you what, this is a 2-man team. Of course, you got the offensive line there working hard. But Star to McGee. He's ISO'd and at the bottom of the screen. And he turns around and gets it. Touchdown. I'll tell you what, Max McGee, if you were to look at this rookie year, you would think this guy's going into Canton. Very easy. 10 plays, 66 yards, 447. Green Bay is showing elements. They are. There was a great saying about the Steelers of the 70s. John Facenda said it. And as Horning is going to kick the extra point with 7 seconds to go here, Horning will take it. But there was a great saying. He said, great teams aren't always great. They're only great when they have to be. And when you're seeing Green Bay right now, you're seeing the makings of a team really that in 2 years would lose to the Eagles in the last second in the NFL championship. Shepard on the near side. Now, there are some holes, as we're seeing. But still, and we're at the half. At the half, it's going to be Green Bay 21 and Dallas 3. As you take a look at the stats, we're going to take a look. Let's go individually with all the players. It'll be passing for Dallas again. We're going to start with the team with only 3 points. They're okay, but the 1 interception, 2 fumbles have hurt Aikman. He didn't fumble all of them, but the interception sure hurt. As we go to the rushing game, it has let him down. 9 attempts for 26 yards. The receivers were just basically the receivers, as he takes a look, He spread the ball around, but nobody is pulling a Max McGee. Nobody in the total offense. As we go there, it is just Shepard receiving and rushing. They're having problems. We go to the defense right now, and you're going to see the problem is no interceptions, no sacks. There is no pressure really on Bart Starr. There's one sack, and we had that, but it's not like he's running around forcing Starr to go for his life. He did one time, but they couldn't get him for a big loss. He just went out of bounds, and he went right there, and it was a 3rd and 3 again. We go to the kicking game. Roger Rusek, the 30-yard field goal, he needed that. Punting-wise, good game, 42-3 as long as it was 50, but he didn't get any inside the 10-yard line. But no touchbacks again. Returns, very good. You might see Dallas's spark on that. But then again, if you get behind too much, you score, and okay, it's still a 3-score game. And then the punt returns looking good. They're okay. Shepard and Kelvin Martin. Bart Starr, though. Bart is doing very well. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And just like the Boney M song, we want to go home. We want to go home. That's what Green Bay's doing right now. 21-3, they're leading. We go to the rushing. The rushing game, very weird because this looks 2 teams, but this looks like a very late 1990s game. Very heavy on the passing, very light on the rushing. Today's NFL is very even, really, on the stats. And when you take a look in the 70s, it was very run heavy. But this, it's strange because it's very pass heavy. Max McGee, 7 receptions, 87 yards. 2 touchdowns, and for a guy that was hung over in the Super Bowl, you don't want to give him champagne now, or who knows? He might play worse. But anyway, you take a look, and running wise, not that great. I think you're going to see a lot of Paul Hornung, and I'm not saying that because they have a lead, because they can run with anybody basically. But a lot of teams save their best running back to the second half when they lead, because then they can just pound the guy. And I wouldn't be surprised if Paul Hornung has 2 second-half touchdowns. We take a look at the defense here. Again, they have a sack and an interception, but their secondary, something that you don't see. Their secondary is incredible. So we go to the next one. We go right now, kicking-wise. Of course, Hornung made all 3 of his extra points, but that's big. That's big. The extra points, if a team like Green Bay can get out of here now, that's great, because then if extra points don't matter, that's big. Max McGee is also the punter. He's like a Sammy Baugh here, only he's not throwing. He would have to throw to himself. 5 punts, 41. He's doing everything this game. He's the MVP. As we go to kicking, Carmichael hasn't kicked a thing, but Paul Hornung has returned. Sorry about this returning. Paul Hornung on the return, pretty good. And he's going to get another shot. Punting-wise, if it goes to Stanley, he's doing a good job. Now, Carmichael, his longest was 5 yards, so it's about average. And that's going to be the individual stats. So let's go back to the truck. Mike in the truck, I'm seeing so far, yes, Green Bay scored, but it's I think, almost a detriment, as you stated earlier, that Green Bay gets this ball at the beginning of the second half when both teams have made adjustments. Both teams have not really had great jobs driving the ball down the field. It could be a 3-and-out and give Dallas the spark they need.
And if that happens, they have to score. Even if it's a field goal, Dallas has to score. But I think a key here is Green Bay scored at the very end of the second quarter, and they gave themselves an 18-point lead. If they're able to repeat a drive and score, even if it's a field goal, that might end the game. So the first possession here could end up being key. Green Bay, to be honest with you, for the teams that they are, they're roughly playing equally. It's the turnover ratio and the field position. And now the tables are turned where if both teams had a drive where they were able to score, whether it be a field goal or a touchdown, if the tables are turned and the gameplay is reversed we could end up with the tie game or a very close game at the very end. So I don't think either team is going to have a comeback if they get behind. I think it's going to be the game could be decided in the third quarter.
Now, I would say that leading 21-3, the only advantage Green Bay has is usually young teams turn the ball over because they're very aggressive. Now, for Green Bay, they can basically start taking knees until they get to 21-10 or 21-13 or whatever. They do have a 3-point buffer zone. So even if Green Bay gets a field goal, it's going to be more about the time that comes off the clock because it's going to be 3 touchdowns. And again, I think that Troy Aikman, a lot of us forget, even I forget when I'm doing this game. This is a 1989 Troy Aikman. This is a glary-eyed rookie, going 1-15, making mistakes. This is a Troy Aikman that the 1993 Troy Aikman would go back in time and start shaking him, go, what the heck are you doing that, you know?
And as you noted, this is not the Hall of Fame quarterback, Troy Aikman. This is based on 1989, and every team for this game is built with that in mind. Now, if this was like an all-time greats league file, then Aikman would be one of the better players, of course. But it's taken out of the 1989 regular season, and Dallas was not good that year. And the same with the Packers; they were actually a little better, at least record-wise. But both teams had issues, and Bart Starr is not the Hall of Fame Bart Starr. He's actually not looking half bad today, but he's not the Hall of Fame. And same with Hornick, and same with everybody. It's Nitschke. They're not the 1960s Green Bay Packers. They're still in the late 1950s, and again without Vince Lombardi. The following year they had Lombardi. So people have to take that into consideration. If for argument's sake, Aikman has a horrible game, it's because, again, as you said, it's his rookie year. But I believe we're ready for the kickoff here, Chris, so I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. As we kick it off, Roger Ruzak, we'll kick it off. One of the things to remember is usually when you're down 21-3, you think about what you need to do to win the game, but you forget about stopping the other team. As here's Horning again, a good return to the 21, a gain of 19. But here's the thing, is it's first down and 10, Horning and Ferguson in the backfield. And Starr will give it to Paul Horning. There's one of the doses of Horning right there. But the thing is, Dallas can stop Green Bay. It's been, again, like a World Series game, a game of moments. And Dallas has been striking out with the bases loaded. Starr, and he's going to throw to Houghton. Houghton again, and here they go. It's going to be a race down to up to the 47, up to the 48. And watch this, Starr again. No pressure, as we said. There's just no pressure. And this is the Dallas secondary. Deion Sanders right now was with the Atlanta Falcons. And remember, you have had a tough secondary here for Dallas. It'll be first down and 10. And Starr, and they're going to give it to Horning. There he is, Horning.
Second down.
A gain of 9. It'll be 2nd and 1, and there's the dose of Horning that we talked about. It'll be 2nd down and 1, Starr. McElhaney and Horning, they give to Horning again. 3 runs for him. And a gain of 2, it'll be a first down and 10. So Green Bay playing very close to the best here. They don't have to do anything. And then I say that, and they throw a triple covered play. There's a penalty. And it'll be Don Dallas, and losing teams do that. Losing teams kill their own momentum. That's what they do. That's why they're losing teams. You don't see the 15-1 Chicago Bears of 85 doing that. Here's Horning. Horning again, that'll be a first. Oh, close. They spot it back. Horning another 9-yard gain. Well, as we said, Horning just a steady dose. That was a loud sneeze. Far formation. Oh, that's okay. Don't worry, your mic is muted. That's all right. Scared me. Scared bugs in my room, too.
Incomplete.
The throw quickly, and it's
Third
incomplete.
Down.
And he went to Max McGee. They probably had everybody on the team was on him. 3rd down and 1. Starr to throw. The blitz is on, and they go to Horning. But it'll be 4th and 3. This is big, because here's the field goal. When Paul Horning hit it from 36 yards, if he can hit it from 36 yards, first of all, it takes away that 3-point buffer, so now it's 3 full touchdowns. And then the second thing is, if they get down there again, he's going to be a formidable force to watch for kicks. We just don't know how good he is from this distance. In this era, this would be a good kick. So here's Horning. And it'll be up. He's going to shank it. It looks like it's drifting. And it will drift to the left. It is left. And Paul Horning has kicked it wide to the left. And Green Bay still has a 21-3 lead. So he has the leg, but not the accuracy. It'll be 1st and 10. For Dallas, it'll be a touchback. You get the option there. And it'll be incomplete. Yeah, we have the Tony Franklin rule in effect here, I believe. 2nd down. 2nd down, and Aikman. I'll explain that in a second in the next break. 3rd down and 10. People wondering why. What is the Tony Franklin rule? I'll tell you in a second. 3rd down and 10. Aikman back to throw. Aikman's going to throw again. It's going to be caught by Urban. They got to go for a 1st down if they don't get it, and they get it. So it'll be 1st down and 10. So here comes Dallas now. So remember, this is the rookie Urban, just from the University of Miami. It'll be 2nd and 10. So 2nd and 10. Aikman, Palmer in the backfield. Aikman. He's going to throw to the near side, wide open, and my goodness. I mean, Kelvin Martin, this is an early Kelvin Martin, but, it'll be 3rd down and 10. 3rd and 10 now for Aikman. They pitch it to Moose, and that wasn't down. To see, that's a unique use of Moose Johnston, a sweep. And it'll be 4th down, and now they're going to punt. Saxon and Jimmy Johnson, you can see the hair gel coming out of him right now. He's probably just looking up in the air. 1st down and 10 for Green Bay. The far formation, they give it to Horning, the fullback. 2nd down. That is his 5th run, I believe, of the 2nd half. It'll be 2nd down and 7. 8.5 to go, Star. McCollum goes to Houghton in the 1st down. They're doubling. You know that they're doubling. Yes, they were playing a run in a 3-deep zone, but you know that they're doubling in Max McGee because 7 receptions. You have to do that, and they're leaving other people open. So 1st down and 10. McGee's at the top of the screen. Take a look at him. They're going to run to McElhaney. That's basically taking a knee. Everybody knew that was coming. It'll be 2nd down. They tried to run the trap against the 40 defense, but it'll be 2nd down. They give to Horning again a 6th run. It'll be down to the near side, a gain of 2, 3rd and 9. 3rd down and 9, 21-3. Star to throw. He's going to be chased. Star to the near side. He doesn't get anything. Out of bounds. He gets barely 2, but it'll be 4th and 7. And Max McGee's going to kick. So McGee will kick, and there's the punt. Straight ahead. Let's see what kind of a return shepherd. He only got a couple. He gets 2 yards to the 26. Wow, trips to the near side. Aikman. Let's see what they do. Everybody this side. Aikman. Incomplete. Throw to the middle. 2nd down. I guess the intended receiver was Anthill in the middle. 2nd down and 10. Again, cohesion hurts again. 3rd down. They throw it. It's going to be incomplete. 3rd down and 10. 3rd and 10. Green Bay leading Dallas 21-3. Aikman, he's going to run. Aikman is sacked, and that's big because if they could have got lucky that play, then they could have got some to the left guard and the left tackle. And again, it's a young team, and whenever they do something that wasn't a stunt, it was just a pure rush, and nobody picked them up. They didn't go to the inside man. And one person came through, and here Saxon is he's going to kick. 21-3, and there's the punt. And let's see how they go. And it is going to be down to the 40, and that's going to be it. Let me explain something real quick. In the 1970s, in college, there was a kicker that played for the Philadelphia Eagles, but in college, he played for Texas A&M, Tony Franklin. And one game against Baylor, they won 24-0. He had a 64 and a 65-yard field goal. And that was the same day Ovio Hansen had a 69-yarder. And the Baylor coach complained. He complained. He said, we can't have these people kicking because back then, a long field goal was better than a punt. So people just let her rip. You want to go 69 yards. If we miss it, it's a touchback. It acts like a punt. So if it's short, we could down at the 1. So they got together at the end of the season, and they changed the rule. And that's why you get it from the line of scrimmage in college. But here it's the spot of the kick. That's just an adaptation from that rule. But it's the Tony Franklin rule. There's a flag on the play. 2nd down, Ferguson, penalty. There's a penalty on the play. And Dallas is offsides now. And now it's starting to get to the point of the game where you're really going to have to screw up, but these are losing teams. 1st and 5, Horning again, his 7th rush and a first down. Horning got 6 yards, and it'll be a 1st down and 10 for the Packers. Far formation, he fumbles the football, and again they get it. They get it. Again, Green Bay comes up heads, and Dallas comes up tails. And Dallas, again, not as many injuries as last week, but when their corner goes down, well, right now, this is when your corner wants to go down because Green Bay is going to be running the football. So right now, already thin secondary. It'll be 2nd and 9. Starr, the fullback, Horning again as they throw a 1st down and more.
1st down.
And Paul Horning a gain of 15. They still need about 13, 14 yards. For a 37-yard attempt, 1st down, Starr, and incomplete.
2nd down.
It'll be 2nd down and 10. Starr to Francis, 2nd and 10. Starr again. He's going to throw to Max McGee, his 8th reception of the game, 1st of the 2nd half. And it'll be 3rd down and 7. 3rd and 7, Starr. Starr will throw, and it's Walls intercepted, Everson Walls. Intercepted, and Dallas, if they have any hope, they just got life support. Somebody just did those electric shocker things right on them. And there's a faint heartbeat. Just faint, but they still have it. This is one of those games you want to turn off, but they're just lingering. They're lingering. It's that guy at a party that it's 2 a.m. You say, leave. You want to say that, but they won't leave. That was usually me. 1st down, they get the ball.
2nd down.
And it'll be 2nd down and 9. That's how I'm so experienced with that. 2nd down and 9. For Dallas, back to throw Aikman, and it's going to be incomplete.
3rd down.
3rd and 9. This is a big 3rd and 9. This is big. If they can get a 1st down and keep this drive alive, they got a shot. They kick it back. We're going to be in the 4th quarter now in 18. 3rd and 9. Aikman, they're going to throw it to the near side. And it's caught by Kelvin Martin.
Down.
That was bigger. I'll tell you what, this play, if they end up making a game of this, it's this play that you're going to take a look at. It is. Now, that's only if they make a game of it. That's this play. They're not going to win this game without making that play. And it'll be 1st down and 10. From the 42 for Dallas. Back to throw. The screen to Moose. And Moose is going to get about 4. It'll be 2nd down and 6. So Robert Williams will come back into the game. I don't know the way their secondary is playing. Keep them out. 2nd down and 6. Aikman.
Incomplete.
And it's going to be incomplete. It'll be 3rd down. Well, Troy Aikman, I keep saying these are so big, but it's this drive that's so big. This will be the last play of the 3rd quarter. As Aikman will throw. He's looking a 7-stepper to the near side and incomplete.
4th down.
And it'll be 4th down and 6. And that's going to be the end of 3. At the end of 3 quarters, it's Green Bay 21, Dallas 3. And I know they're going to punt. We're going to go back to the truck. Mike in the truck. Mike, I know that they're going to punt to start the 4th quarter, but, I know territorial advantage is big and it could go their way, but do you think it might be too little too late and they might just want to go for it?
Or a fake punt. That's what I was thinking. You got nothing to lose at this point. I don't think they're going to go for it because there's still enough time. Again, it's a war of attrition. It's a war of field position. You just had a big pick. So maybe you can get another turnover and pin Green Bay after pinning Green Bay deep in their own territory is what I'm thinking here. I doubt they'll do a fake, but I think you pin them deep, and if your defense can rally like it did the last drive, all of a sudden you're potentially close to, if not in the red zone. That's all
I would
you've
agree.
got.
That I want to go out on a limb. I really, in the back of my head, I want to say the over-under in passes for the rest of the game for Green Bay is 3. So they might just get the ball, take basically 3 knees, which is runs up the middle that everybody knows is coming, and start Darren Dallas. What you do in this situation is you get a buffer. You say, okay, we're not going to play a normal offense until a team gets within like 11 points of us. And they're just going to say, okay, we're going to run and punt. And that way, if they can't do anything, we get it back. But the time is so big because now there's going to be about 15 minutes. They need to take off about 4 to 5 minutes. And if they can get this thing under 10 minutes with this possession, there's just no time. There's no time at all. Zero.
Yeah, it's they've got to play super aggressive. I would be very surprised if Dallas rushed that many more times, short of them being in the red zone and trying to hammer it home. They've got to throw, and Green Bay knows it. While Green Bay's probably going to do almost nothing but run the ball, and Dallas knows it. Short of Dallas scoring on their next possession, then Green Bay might have to rethink their game plan. But I guess we're about to find out because we're going to start the fourth, Chris, and I turn it back over to you.
All right, thank you very much. It's Green Bay, a 21-3 lead, and they're going to get the ball back. Here's Saxton to kick, and it's going to be close again, but they can't get to it. We kicked inside the 20-yard line, and Carmichael trips over his own feet. But that might be kind of a blessing in disguise there. You can't fumble. I mean, you can, but there was nobody around him. He could have recovered it. First down for Starr. And Brian Bartlett Starr, again, they're going to go to Ferguson. I just remember that Notre Dame running back. I think it was Vegas Ferguson. Second down, 21-3, but it's not him. Starr is again. They're just going to take basically a knee. Dare Dallas. Third down and 6. Starr again to throw. Here's one of the 3 passes, and they go to Francis, and it's going to be a first down. So we're going to keep count on that. I know this is going to be a run. Everybody knows this is going to be a run. Paul Hornung. No, it's going to be a pass, and it's going to be Max McGee.
And
that's why I would probably be the defensive coordinator for Dallas. As Max McGee goes through, it just makes so much sense to run that a team that's 2-12, or were they 2-11-1, says, you know what? We have an 18-point buffer. We're at home, so momentum is hard to get. And as a road team, and you know what? They did it, and that's a first down. That's gutsy, and that's good. The odds were in their favor. Start a Hornung again.
Second down.
Hornung will be 2nd and 8. So we have 2 passes they threw. Yeah, I think it was 2. Second down, Hornung up the middle again.
Third down.
And it'll be 3rd down and 4. 3rd and 4, 11:30 to go. Starr. He's going to throw it quickly. His third pass is incomplete. And now they're going to punt. It's 4th and 4. So under my logic, they're not going to pass the rest of the game. And that's going to be McGee. This thing might go in the end zone. And oh yeah, he just blasted it.
Touchback.
Remember, Dallas needs, they can get a field goal and be okay, but they would have to get a 2-point conversion. So that would be big. First down and 10 for Dallas. Aikman back to throw. They throw to the near side. That's going to be incomplete.
Second down.
And that was to Shepard. I'll tell you what, this is tough. Second down, trips to the far side. And Aikman, they get the clack. And okay, well, that's why they're 1-15. 3rd and 13. Aikman, they got doubles to both sides. Aikman to throw, 7-stepper. They go to Kelvin Martin in the first down to the 31. They kind of have to start picking up the pace here, because if they're going to play their own pace, the second drive is going to be really tight, and the third one's going to be crazy fast. Aikman, a quick throw, and that's going to be incomplete. You know, all these 7 and 8 second incompletions, they add up. You know, 10 incompletions is a minute off the clock. And when you're down by 18, that's tough. Palmer. Near side, it's going to be 3rd and 6. So they go down to 9-12. 3rd down and 6. Aikman back to throw. He throws, and it's incomplete. Now they're going to kick it 4th and 6. Well, they decide to kick. And Saxton, and I'm telling you right now, Green Bay, I told you the over-under's 3. They have 3 passes, and I don't think they're going to pass again, which means they're going to throw a bomb this play. No, McElhaney, there's the draw, and the first down. And this is looking more and more like it's going to have to be a miracle to be a win for Dallas. And there's a flag. They jumped offside.
Second down, penalty.
So it'll be 1st and 5. They're basically going up the middle, daring Dallas basically to score 3 touchdowns. McElhaney, and it's okay. He ran out of bounds. You might be ready to throw a brick at your TV if you're a Green Bay fan. But remember, The clock will run because it's not 5 minutes yet. It just temporarily stops. Star. And they go to
Third
Max
down.
McGee, and they throw for the 4th time. So there goes my logic. 3rd and 1. They go the broken eyes away. They give to Horning, and Horning
Fourth
goes
down,
out of bounds.
Out of bounds.
It'll be 4th and 3. Now you throw the brick there because of that play call to the overloaded side without the blockers. And there's the punt. It's going down to the 20, to the 10. It'll be down to the 4-yard line. And that's Max McGee, 50 yards. And now they got to go all the way down 6.5. They got to 3 scores. Aikman 1st and 10. They throw to the middle. There's Folsom.
First down.
And they got to get a big gainer. They got to get one that breaks for 40 or 50 yards. They're going to hurry. They have to hurry. It's going to be 1st and 10. Aikman incomplete.
Second down.
It'll be 2nd down and 10. So this is big. They need a big. If they go down the field and dink and dunk, it's going to be, they're going to score with 1 second left. They're still going to lose by
Third
11.
down.
3rd and 10. They're going to hurry again to the line. The offensive line gets weak when they hurry. You see a lot of pressure, but not there. They throw to the middle, and there's Shepard. There's a big gainer right here. Up to
down.
midfield, not as big as they wanted. They got 30. And watch Aikman. Aikman, as they're going to be racing to the line here. And Troy Aikman right down the middle. Oh, he put it between 2 defenders. And Shepard, they needed that really badly. It is down.
First
4
down.
down football for Dallas. They got to go all 4 down as they hurry it up. 1st down and 10. Aikman.
Incomplete.
Aikman quickly
Second
incomplete.
down.
It'll be 2nd down. They go to Folsom. 2nd and 10. Aikman to the near
Incomplete.
side. Incomplete
Third
again.
down.
3rd and 10. Aikman, Palmer, they get 2 to the near side. Aikman, he's going around, pressured, and
Incomplete.
it's incomplete.
Fourth down.
And it'll be 4th and 10, and this will be it. Well, they're going to punt. Okay, 1 and 15, and they go back. It'll be to the 10-yard line. Shanley up to the 18. It's hard to wave the white towel in the tournament. 1st down and 10.
Fumble.
Sorry, they give it to fumbles.
Second down.
Oh, my. Almost. Oh, well, I'll tell you what. Dallas gets that. Everybody's like turning on their TVs again. 2nd down and 12. 2nd down and 12. Star to Horning, and he
Third
gets
down.
something. They're basically taking knees to this point. 3rd down, you know where it's going. Star, they give to Horning, and he
Fourth
gets a
down.
couple yards. Now, I'm going to be lambasted by all these people in the comments section saying, you said 3 passes in A through 4. But, you know, it's just been that kind of a day for me. 40-yard line up to the 46. I got to go back for a 5th time to get my car just in my own name here. I'm in Chiang Mai, Thailand. Great country, but paperwork anywhere. Oh, my goodness. 1st down and 10 for Dallas. Aikman. He's looking to throw, and we're just starting.
Incomplete.
We're starting on
Second
this
down.
incomplete parade. You might see like a 15-play, 1 minute and 30-second drive here. 2nd down, Aikman. Oh, it is great time for an
Third
end around
down.
as Dixon loses 1. And it'll be 3rd down. They're going to hurry to the line. They want to get it before the warning. Aikman, he rolls out, throws across his body. There's Shepard.
Fourth
He's
down.
going to go out of bounds. It'll be 4th and 2. And now they're going to, well, they run out of bounds to punt the football. So there they go. It's going to be inside the 10 and, to the 2-yard line. 2-minute warning. Green Bay is about to leave the tournament. And tell Dallas, give them their plane tickets for next week. I guess the winning team is like the ticket agents. They walk over to the other side and say, here you go. There you go. Have fun. We're going home. We'll watch you on TV. We'll be rooting for you. You take a look here. Statistically in this game, the one thing that pops out at you is Dallas, man, they got to go to the University of Florida and just get Emmitt Smith and say, hey, do you want to pretend like it's 1931 and you can play your college game on Saturday and your pro game on Sunday? Because look at that, 30 rushes on 30 yards on 17 carries. That's 6 out of 17. So that is almost 2 1/3 yards a rush. I mean, look, it's better for Green Bay. It's almost 2.5, but just basically it has been Green Bay all purple. Mike in the truck, it's just, you know what? It's been an ugly game. The 6 penalties for Dallas have been at points where It hasn't really affected them. It's like a pitcher pitching a shutout and scattering 6 hits. But I don't know. Dallas just has had no flow to their offense. None, zero.
Yeah, they haven't. And like you mentioned, 6 penalties. You notice that Green Bay hasn't had one. They've played, they've been pretty solid and had the right mentality and haven't. They've just played straight up football when it comes to this. They're just not a very. They don't execute very well. This has been, simply put, a game of field position and turnovers. And even though Green Bay has had fumbles, and they did have an interception, but they've had fumbles. Not one of their fumbles has been a turnover, where Dallas is just coughing it up and just giving Green Bay field position. And that, simply put, is the difference in the game. Not only that, but Bart Starr is playing better than Troy Aikman. I mean, he's been hitting McGee. He's got a good receiver to hit. And Irvin wasn't at I don't necessarily blame Irvin, but I mean, Aikman has just had a horrible game, short of that one drive where they drove down and got the field goal. He took command on that drive, but I think we're about to find out. I think the score is going to be the same. Maybe Dallas gets a garbage touchdown, but I think that's the extent of the game, as we're about to find out. And I turn it back over to you.
All right, I agree with you. Also, too, when you're up so big, you don't have to be aggressive. What the players do is they go into their normal mode, and when you want to hold your guy in front of you, you don't, because you don't want to be 1st and 20 because you're running. When you're calling plays, you run up the middle. In case you turn it over, nobody gets to advance it. No quick touchdowns. So they're playing just basically all second half. They're not taking a knee, but they're basically playing so conservative. They're forcing Dallas to do something before Green Bay does something. So it'll be 1st down and 10.
If I can interject here, there could be a safety here. So give Dallas 2 points, and then if they get another 7, then it's 21-12. But I think that would be the
they would get a 2-point conversion now. So if they get a safety, 21-5. If they score and hit the 2, it would be 21-13.
And then they'd be a touchdown away. But I think that's the extreme of what we're looking at. And short of an absolutely insane miracle, I think that's the extreme we're looking at. And I turn it back over to you as we continue with the play.
Well, it's got to happen on 1st down, because if not, they're going to have less than 3 timeouts, and the time situation would be they would have to hit an onside kick. So it'll be 1st down and from the 2, and there's Paul Hornung, and that wipes that out. It's great when we talk about something for about 2 minutes and just first play just wipes it out. So it'll be 2nd down and 2nd and 4. There's Hornung. There's the 1st down. And that's it. They're just going to take 2 more knees here. 1 more knee. He's just going to take. They might run it just to get some stats and bonuses in their paycheck.
2nd down.
McElhaney up the middle. There's a penalty, and it'll be a hold. Right after I was telling you they wouldn't hold because they're playing, they give it to McElhaney. It doesn't matter because, that was the first penalty of the game for Green Bay, and that's it. I guess he wanted his name in the record book. Hey, offensive lineman, hey, Mom, look at this. We're up 21-3. That little guy's going to say my name. Hey, that's the only way you get recognition. But anyway, Green Bay a 21-3 win over Dallas. It was a solid victory. At no point did I feel that Green Bay was really threatened. When I say at no point, it's usually you go the first quarter because, of course, the score is going to be close in the first quarter unless somebody has a major blowout. But after the first quarter, I did not feel that they're really threatened. Dallas did not really have the ball in Green Bay territory. I don't even know when the last time they had the ball in Green Bay territory was, if beyond that one field goal drive they ever had it in Green Bay territory. Maybe in the second quarter, but I got to go back. Aikman, 187, there's nothing happening for him. Rushing-wise, you're going to notice nobody did a thing. Moose is only good when of course he's a great blocker, and he's a lead blocker, but your running game with Moose is only going to be good when you start throwing the ball and connecting, because then you use him on draws, and he is so powerful. When he gets ahead of steam, he's like Christian Okoye. Shepard The split end, 4 receptions was big. He got a few of them were pretty good. When you take a look at the total offense, it was Shepard leading the way, but look at the gap between Shepard and everybody else. Like once they put 3 people on Shepard, it was like you could put 5 people on him. You could have a 5 team. There's not even a word, a quint team. He didn't triple team. He didn't quadruple team. He quintuple teamed. And then nobody else was pulling their weight. You see only 1 sack and 1 interception. And that just tells you the pressure really wasn't there. Yeah, they made Aikman. They made Starr run a little bit, but I mean, come on. That's normal for a game. You're going to get that. Ruzek made his field goal. He had his 3 points. And you look at the punting wise, sacks and 10 punts. I mean, he did well. He was inside to 23 times out of the 10. And no touchbacks. It's pretty good. When you take a look at Green Bay, Dixon and Shepard. Now, here's the thing. We got to talk about the losers. We start out with the losers. Usually when a team wins, we talk about the winners and what they're going to do next week. But this is an unusual tournament. We got to talk about the losers because they're the ones that play next round. The losers play. So when I take a look at Dallas, I take a look at team that it depends who their matchup is going to be. If they have a strong running defense, then Dallas is going to be in trouble. They could lose a few games in a row, and that would be embarrassing for a franchise. One of the things I wanted to say about Dallas was these 2 franchises are noted for winning. Now, franchises like the Steelers are noted for the first 40 years of losing. That's their story. We lost 40 years, and now we're winning again, so people expect the Steelers to have losing teams before the Super Bowl. People know that. The Cardinals losing teams. Detroit losing. But Dallas? Every round that Dallas goes on is an embarrassment to their franchise. And their fans will feel the embarrassment. Where Steeler fans will laugh. Oh, look at Buddy Parker running around the backfield, But, for Dallas, they're taking this as an embarrassment. The Dallas and Packers. So if you're a Dallas fan and you're watching, I get it. It's like watching the New York Yankees, their worst team, losing in a losers tournament. It's like, really? Wow. So as you take a look, one real thing, let's take a look at Green Bay real quick. Let's take a look at Bart Starr, really good, 2 touchdowns and a pick. He played solid, but he doesn't have to play again, so we don't have to worry. But I will tell you this, you can see this. This is the stat. When you take a look at the rushing, Dallas is going to have to commit people up front. And if they get West Coast teams, and I'm telling you, they have Tampa Bay in their bracket. Tampa Bay, and I will tell you that last week I called that they're going to win 31-21 over the Vikings. If they play Dallas, Tampa Bay is going to have a shot with Steve Spurrier. They're going to have a shot because of this statistic right here, where Paul Hornung gets enough in the second half, wears down the defense, where the defense comes up, and now all those poorly rated receivers are going to be wide open, and anybody in the NFL can catch. It's not like high school where little Dipsy goes out and you're making his mom proud because you want to go on a date with her. But, Max McGee with 10 receptions. He had 7 in the first half, and he had 3 in the second, and they didn't even really try and throw too much in the second. That's big because when you're talking about star receivers, Dallas is going to have to overcompensate to get a star receiver, and that's going to hurt the running game. So they could be in for a haul. That could be a team that might go. Total offense, as you see, Max McGee was incredible. Paul Hornung, the fullback, he took that screen pass. He just looked at the coach and goes, no, come on, man. I don't even have a face mask. I got the single bar here. I can't take 5 people on me. So then we go to the defense. There's 2 sacks. They did put pressure on Aikman, and they did recover fumbles here. As we take a look at the kicker, Paul Hornung missed, but he doesn't got to play again. He doesn't have to play again, so he doesn't have to worry. So the next one, punting-wise, McGee was good. And McGee had 3 inside the 20, 2 touchbacks. What that statistic says, out of 9 punts, 5 were in play of the 20-yard line. That means that Green Bay was most of their time near midfield when they were kicking. That means of their 9 punts, very rarely were they 3 and out. and having to kick from it deep in their own end. That again is tough for Dallas. Paul Hornung, two returns, and again, Dallas has to get a better kick return. If Dallas doesn't get a better kick return, they could be playing an even team, an even bad team, and all of a sudden they just get like Mel Gray out of Detroit. I'm not sure what Detroit team there is, but if you got Mel Gray's going to tear up this Dallas team. He's just going to tear them up. And Carmichael and Shanley, you can see the punt returns right there. So there's the stats right there. We're going to throw it back to the truck. What about your analysis here? 21-3. How bad are the Cowboys? And when you take a look at your bracket, are they really? Do the Dallas Cowboys have to hide their head? Are they really a championship team?
Not exactly. Well, potentially a championship team in this tournament, but
Yeah,
potentially they potentially are. I didn't expect Green Bay to win as much as they did, and I didn't expect them to score as much as they did. But again, this was turnovers and field position, and both teams had turnovers. But when it came to fumbles, Dallas coughed it up and gave it to Green Bay. Green Bay fumbled several times too, but they never gave it up. And there were chances, and penalties also killed Dallas. Where Green Bay didn't have a penalty until the second, third, last play of the game. So Green Bay was much more disciplined than Dallas. So I'm not surprised at the result, if you will. I would have favored Green Bay by a little bit, but and again, if the ball bounces the right way, Chris, this could have been 21-3 the other way. If Green Bay coughs up the ball on their turnovers and Dallas didn't, we could see 21-3 the other way. So
I want to say something on it. That's interesting, but I'm thinking about it because I'm wondering if Dallas had the offensive ability to score off those turnovers, if they would have got those 4 fumbles. And I'm thinking with the way Green Bay threw the ball in the first half and how they were able to go down the field, would they have been able to come back, do you think, if they would have gotten a hole early against Dallas with their passing game?
Well, Dallas might have gotten 1 touchdown out of all of this, but it would have come down to field goal kickers, and I think Dallas's kicker was better than Green Bay statistically. So there could have potentially been an edge there. I mean, it could have been a field goal fest for Dallas. They might have gotten, say, 1 touchdown in the red zone after a turnover, maybe, but I think it would have turned into a field goal fest. But as you can see, Green Bay goes home, Dallas advances. So, excuse me. Now, when we sim all these games, Chris, I want to note to everybody, I can't advance to tournament round 2 because obviously the game is built that if you win, you advance. So what's going to end up happening is we're going to have to rebuild the bracket. And we're going to have to put the losing teams in. So we can't find out. We won't know the opponents until the next time we go live. But I'm going to give you the helm again for the duration. And we're going to sim the bracket for round 1.
Okay, well, can we go back to you have up there on the right toilet bowl bracket after we're done simming here, even though none of the teams are going to fill in.
Right.
I'll remember who wins, and then can we go over the
we could do that.
There?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. It just won't be typed up. You're just going to have to verbally tell us. But yes, I can do that, and I'll give you the helm.
All right, so here's Tennessee and Jacksonville. Tennessee at Jacksonville, I'm going to say right now, very quickly, we could just make a quick prediction, each of us, and see how it goes. I'm going to say Tennessee in an ugly game over Jacksonville. I'm going to say Jacksonville has some talent. I'm going to say it's going to be like 23-11, Tennessee.
I'll say 21-7 Tennessee.
Okay, let's see, and we're going to sim this thing.
Whoa.
It's go, oh, my God, boy, wow, this is why I'm not doing for CBS. That's why I'm in Thailand doing this, and, there's only one game I'm hinching on, and that's Tampa Bay, and we'll get there in a second. Cleveland is the worst team, one of the worst team. I believe this wasn't the winless team, was it, or was it?
Yes, it was.
Okay, so this is the winless team. They're going to play the 1964 Denver Broncos. Denver they're here basically because of vertical socks that were black and white. And now I'm going to say Denver will win this game because I like Lube Saban a lot better than Cleveland.
I'm going to say
I'm going to
Cleveland. I'm
say,
going to say Cleveland on the upset, but go ahead.
okay, I'm going to say 23-10 Denver.
I'm going to say 14-13 Cleveland.
And we're going to take a look here,
Whoa.
and I am wrong again. It was an ugly game, and Cleveland wins the upset, and Denver will go to the next round. So we have Tennessee and Denver, and now Cincinnati and Houston. I am going to say the Bengals. I'm going to say the Bengals big in this game because Houston was so god-awful. Even though we're at the Astrodome, there's nobody there for home field advantage.
What's your score? I'm going to say 28-3 Cincinnati.
I'm going to say, well, Cincinnati's going to find a way to make it close. I'm going to say 21-14 Cincinnati.
Okay, here we go. Oh, you were closer.
Close. I was close. Even a blind squirrel finds an acorn once in a while. And we go to, I like 1980 New Orleans to beat 2008 Detroit. I like them because of their offense. They were bad, but a lot of times they're bad because I believe Archie Manning was still the quarterback before Kenny Stabler came in 1980. And I believe was this the year that he had that weird play against the Eagles where he threw it underhand for 15 yards after scrambling around?
I think so. I think it was. But you know what? I could see this is a coin flip to me. This is a coin flip.
I'm saying New Orleans big. It's going to be a high-scoring game, but I'm saying New Orleans big.
Okay. Let's find out. It was close.
Oh, there we go. That's high scoring, right? 1980s terminology. That's by touchdowns, correct? 17-13 and touchdowns. But New Orleans won. It's closer. And I guess when you're bad teams, we have to remember bad teams can't win a game by a lot. The 96 Jets, I said last broadcast that the field goal, that was in 1993. I told a story about a 3-0 game against the Redskins. Well, that was 1993 when the snapper for the Jets hit his own holder right in the helmet, right in the ear hole. 71 Buffalo. I'm going to pick. You got to pick. See, here's the thing. The defense was terrible for the Jets. And when the Bills have O.J. Simpson, I don't know. I just would say he's going to start running wild.
I agree. I think this is going to be a blowout. It's going to be something like 35-10 Buffalo is my guess.
All right, I'm going to say Buffalo 20-10.
Okay, here we go. Whoa!
Yeah, no. Well, I got the number of points exactly right. I got a 30-point game. My over/under would have been good. Seattle in 1992 broke my heart because I remember Tecmo Bowl and I remember Tecmo Super Bowl. Tecmo Bowl, Dave Craig, and a great offense. Tecmo Super Bowl was easy. You just pick the shotgun play, ran everybody down, and throw it as far as you can. All the time. It worked. But now 1992 with a Dan McGuire. Oh, my God. Then the next year was Rick Meyer. So, 92, they went 2-14 that year. And I believe that was Flores' first year as a coach, or was that Chuck Knox's last year?
I think I want to say it was Knox's last year, and then they had Flores in 93. I could be wrong.
Okay, they did have Flores in 93. I know that. Kansas City, I just have a hard time seeing them lose at home. They did have some talent on that team. It just didn't. That was one of those years it didn't work. Like, it just didn't work. So I would say Kansas City wins big.
I'm going to say Kansas City with a score of 20-9. Let's see. Whoa, Seattle wins. Boy, we're not big.
God. Oh, my God. That's why I'm on YouTube. That's why I'm happy when 3 people watch at once my broadcast. Actually, more are going to watch because they just take whatever I predict and bet on the opposite thing. We're going to do that. That's easy. They're going to, hey, I made $1 million off it. Wow. Why is he working? Because he's right. No. He's wrong. Whatever he says, I just bet against this guy.
All right, well then, how about Oakland, Pittsburgh? I'm going to take Oakland like 17-3.
I'm going to take Pittsburgh Bay. Oakland gave up 96 points in the first 2 games. They're playing in an AFL that wasn't established then, so it's going to be top-heavy. So a lot of their ratings are probably going to be down. The Steelers went 1-13. Now, this is the thing. Remember what I was talking about earlier about franchises, the game we just had,
Right.
about, Green Bay. And now Steeler fans are looking at this, hoping the Steelers lose because they're like, yes, it's before 1970. So this is Chuck Noll's first year. It's okay if they stink. That makes us look better because then we can say in 5 years we won a Super Bowl with the worst team in history. Whereas Dallas is going, oh my God, we look ugly. And Green Bay's like, oh my God, Green Bay's going to be the worst. Steelers like, please lose.
Okay.
So I'm going to say Pittsburgh in this game, beating Oakland. It's at Pitt Stadium, not Forbes Field.
Right.
So Y.A. Tittle still has a headache from one of his games there. So I would say the Steelers.
I'm going to go 21-10 Oakland. Here we go. 31-0 Pittsburgh. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, Oakland is bad. Oakland is really bad. They gave up 96 points in their first two games. And we look at the Steelers 51-0 and 41-10 in 1989. We thought that was bad, but Oakland played in two very AFL teams when the AFL didn't have much talent. And Oakland even had less talent. They're like a World Football League team. They're like the Detroit Wheels of this tournament. The 62 Oakland, they might win it all, lose it all. They might lose it all. Even worse than these 53 Chicago Cardinals. God, I mean, picking people out of the stands, it's like that old commercial, Pretzel Boy. Hey, Pretzel Boy, and then they're playing quarterback.
Yeah, I'm going to take Atlanta in the next game. I don't know the score, but I'm just going to take the Falcons and a win.
Now, I made fun of Chicago, but I'm going to say, I don't know, something about Chicago. When I simmed a league before, they always simmed a lot stronger. So they're going to get blown out here to make me look like an idiot. But I'm going to pick Chicago big in this game.
And to clarify, everybody, we're talking the Chicago Cardinals. So
yeah,
here we go. And Chicago does
there
win.
It is. They always sim stronger. They're the oldest professional football team. They started in Racine, and then they went around Illinois to Chicago, and then they went to St. Louis, and then they went to Phoenix, and they called themselves Arizona.
There are some teams, I'll tell you that there are some teams that statistically and, that we us modders built for Pro Strategy Football. Statistically, they're good, but they have a horrible record, and vice versa. I'll give you an example. The 82 49ers, like Montana has some great stats, and Clark has some great stats. But they only won like 3 games all year. But if you play them in the 82 season, they actually are pretty good. And then you get a situation like the 56 Giants. They won the championship. Statistically, they're not very good. So to get them to win, we have to fudge sometimes when making these mods. And to get them to a level where they at least can win. And another example is the 01 Patriots. They're not that great comparatively. If you try playing the 01 Patriots in 2nd and 10, which is a number crusher, they get losing records every time. And they won the Super Bowl. So while they may not have the greatest statistics, they're a contender if you're sim the 2001 season with Pro Strategy Football. But the next matchup was it Plunkett in '78?
It might have been. I'll tell you what. Well, Montana might have been a rookie in maybe '79 or '78.
I think he was a rookie in '79. I don't think he was on the team.
I will say this though: there was a team, the Chargers. I think 2010. They had the number 1 offense in the league and the number 1 defense in the league, and they didn't even make the playoffs.
That's because their special teams gave up points.
Horrible.
Yeah, but they if it weren't for the special teams, they probably would have won the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. And I just feel so bad for like Marty Schottenheimer. I feel so bad for that guy because you've had coaches with similar bad luck, and I can name a few, but none with that much bad luck that they didn't have at least one season where they eked out a championship and they sit and they look at their ring and go, you know what, I had bad luck with that 1 year. I feel like, oh my God, the way he lost games.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. It was like the other team had to pull a miracle out. It wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even their defense fault. It was the great play of the other teams.
Kicks, punts, field goals being blocked, and it was horrible. It was a nightmare to watch if you're a Chargers fan because you got the best team in football, but you're
Yeah.
losing games because you allowed a punt return for a touchdown again. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was horrible.
Even with the Browns. Oh my goodness, with the Browns, a 98-yard play, the fumble at the goal line.
Yeah,
And the implosion in the third quarter in the '89 AFC title game, which should have been the Steelers versus the Browns. And
yeah.
Dwight Stone, I got, like still when he dropped that pass from Brister on 1st and 10, he would have been gone in fourth quarter. He would have been gone, but he drops the pass, and it's like, oh my
Yeah,
god.
but I'll tell you what, it didn't matter who played San Francisco that year in the Super Bowl. San Francisco was running over whoever represented the AFC, and Denver had statistically the best defense that year. It didn't matter; it was going to be San Francisco. And I saw John Elway interviewed, and I'm paraphrasing. He said in the Super Bowls in the '80s, the Super Bowl against the Giants won the game in the second half. The
Yes.
Super Bowl against the Redskins, the Redskins won the game in the second quarter.
Yeah.
The Super Bowl against the 49ers won before kickoff. Elway said that.
Well, I will throw this stat out to you. That 1984, the 49ers only lost one game. They lost one game at home. Guess who that was to?
Yeah, it was Pittsburgh, and they had a chance of tying it at the end of the game, and Warshik missed. And in '87,
7, yes.
opening day, and what were the two common things in those games? Who was their quarterback? It was Mark Malone. Yeah, Mark Malone, 2-0 lifetime against Joe Montana in Pittsburgh. Go figure.
Yeah, and Chuck Noll had a winning record against the 49ers in the 80s. He was 2-1.
Right.
I believe in 81 they lost in 81.
Right, against that was the year that San Francisco. Yeah, and that was the year San Francisco won it all. Yeah. That was when San Francisco had started to peak, and and Pittsburgh had started to go downhill, and it was semi-close. But I'm going to say San Francisco wins this game by a hair.
Yeah, I'm going to say too, because here's the thing: whenever you get the early '60 NFL teams, it gets like in a lot of the simulation games, like whenever it gets too run heavy and you don't have any passing, then it gets very hard. That's why the '73 Dolphins in real life were extremely good.
They were better than '72. They were actually better. Yeah. And even Shula will say that he thinks the 73 team was better than 72. And one of the players said, yeah, 72 we won every game. 73 we lost to, but all the games we won, they weren't close like in 72. We were blowing teams out.
In 72, they had 4 straight games where they didn't throw for over 100 yards. And they were close games. So it wasn't like they got a big lead and just kept running the ball.
Right.
There were 4 games where straight games where they did not throw, that they won them all. They did not throw over 100 yards, and that's the thing with the Dolphins. But when you sim them in these games, in this game, 2nd and 10, whatever, it gets very difficult for them to beat the really good teams because once you stop the run, then what happens is Greasy will go maybe 4 of 11 for 39 yards, and it's just so their offense is just so pioneered towards the run. They just try and jam sometimes a triangle peg in a circle hole, and it's unique. So I'm going to pick San Francisco in this because they're multidimensional here.
I'm going to go in a close game, but I'm going to go San Francisco, and here we go. Oh, Washington. No. There are some upsets. There are some.
Yeah.
But actually, if you stop and consider, I'm going to scroll to the top. Who's listed on the right is a home team.
Yeah.
So the home team has won 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
4 out of 9. But then again, the home team has the worst SRS rating. The visiting team is higher ranked, if you will. Because remember, we're doing this in opposites. Now, here's one that's going to be really interesting. And if the Patriots win this, because in real life, 0-1 Carolina, 2 years later, they're in the Super Bowl. New
Yeah.
England, they were 6 years later. I think Carolina destroys them.
Yeah, this is George Seifert, right? George
Yes.
Seifert. Yeah, I think they're going to win big. I mean, Don McPherson, Dick McPherson. Sorry, Don was a quarterback for Syracuse. Dick McPherson was. He was a very emotional, great guy, but my God, it's like Lloyd McClendon when he coached the Pirates. Like, my God, you roll your eyes sometimes. Yeah,
Okay, let's see. We're gonna give it a roll, and again, I think Carolina's gonna win a blowout. But here we go, and they do,
yep,
34-14. Okay,
yeah,
so
that's
New
a
England,
contender.
yeah. Okay, the '07 Dolphins have one win against the '66 Giants. I think I'm gonna take New York.
I'm going to take New York too because their league right there, Miami was bad, but a lot of their games were against bad teams. They played the Patriots twice, I know that, but the AFC East then was not too much to write home about, not yet. They did have the New York Jets, which were in there, and the Jets were kind of good around that time. But I'm gonna pick New York
Okay,
because they just had much more. They had harder teams to play against. That's 66 in the NFL. You only had about 14. You had 12 teams or 14 teams, and they were tough. I think they had 12 teams, and all of them. So they might have had a bad record and but they're playing some of the best talent. That's when the AFL was really starting to get up, but
right.
still, the NFL had all the good teams at this point. From 67 on, Super Bowl II, I really think the AFL overall had more talent, but 66 here, I'm going to say the Giants.
I agree. Let's see, and they do, but
There we
not by
go.
much. Not by much.
Yeah.
Now,
It's helping my record.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now, this game, to be honest with you, this game could have been the toilet bowl, like the championship, what we're about to sim here. Because these two teams are just god awful. I mean, but they're meeting in the first round.
Maybe it's nostalgia, but I don't know because remember Indianapolis, they finished 1-15, and I think they won their second game of the year.
It might have
I'm
been the
not.
first.
It might have been the first. So it depends. They're fresh right now. You don't have Indianapolis is a very, how should I say, they're a spread out team. They don't have any stars. So they're able, like you have to, they suck all around. They're terrible. But they don't have like that one person when you go into the game. And that's why they won their first game or second game. I think it was their first, you're right. But because they didn't know how to defend them. And after a couple of weeks, people are like, okay, let's do this and this. So they might get lucky here, but they are, I would say, with New England, easily some of the worst teams.
Yeah. I mean, San Diego almost made the playoffs in '01, if I remember correctly. Didn't they like miss a field goal or something against like the Jets? I can't remember, but they like just missed getting in. But Leaf was a quarterback in 2000, and you've got Jeff George, who's quarterbacking the Colts. I'm gonna say Indianapolis, but not by much.
Was it George in 91 or was it Chris Chandler?
I thought it was George.
Because I know George graduated from Illinois. I just forget what year. And I keep thinking George was in 93, but I'm not sure.
It was George. I'm looking at it now.
Okay.
It's George, and he started all 16 games. Harriman was his backup. And Trudeau. But it was George. So I'm going to say the Colts by a hair.
Wow, what happened to Trudeau? He started a playoff game in 87 or 88. Wow.
Yeah. Well, that's when, in 87, that was a strike season. Their offense was not very good except for Dickerson. But the reason they won games and made the playoffs, they just had a winning record, was because they had the number one defense in the league. They had a super powerful defense, but the only offense that they really had was Dickerson.
I was wondered why they were included in the original Tecmo Bowl and all these other teams weren't, but they made the playoffs. They just got all the playoff teams.
Right. Yeah. And not all, like the Giants didn't make the playoffs and they're in it, but that's why they made the playoffs and they had the number one defense in the league. So I'm going to say the Colts by a hair. And what's your take?
Oh, I'm going to say San Diego big.
Okay, here we go.
I know Indianapolis is at home,
Well,
but
you're
there it is.
right.
There
You're
it is.
exactly right.
They're just so bad. When I was a kid, I remember watching the Indiana. It was funny because it was New England, Indianapolis were the worst games. They were the worst games. And Charlie Jones would do all the games. And he would be so bored. And I remember Roy Firestone on a Sunday, conversation with Roy Firestone.
Mm-hmm.
He asked, what do you do when it's New England and Indianapolis? How do you get through? And he goes, oh, those games are boring. And he started talking about just being professional and trying to pick out the littlest details and stuff. But yeah, Indianapolis is so bad. Look, they're even in the Hoosier Dome at home, which is really loud, and playing a bad San Diego team. It's just, for me, San Diego was San Diego because every team with good talent has that one bad year.
Right.
And nothing goes right. But when you sim, because the players aren't bad, it's coaching, cohesion, a lot of that stuff. They sim and they'll be an 8-8 team, but in real life they're 4-12. It's why you're right. 2nd and 10 football. What's the strongest team? One of the strongest teams in the 1980s when you sat in the late 70s, the St. Louis Cardinals, but they never won a playoff game. And
Right.
it's like so much talent, but the coaching, they choked. 2nd and 10 doesn't go for choking.
Right.
I saw Scott Norwood making field goals.
Well, if you're going to play, not just in 2nd and 10, but pro strategy football, if you're going to take the Cardinals, believe it or not, take him in 84. And this is during the Dan Marino era. He will stand almost, if not toe-to-toe with Dan Marino. He will.
Wow.
But 09 Rams had only one win, 58 Eagles. Now, they're 2 years removed from winning it all. I'm going to say Philadelphia wins kind of big here.
I'm saying St. Louis huge. I'm only saying that because we at our school, instead of saying fantasy football, we use pro strategy football.
Yeah.
And everybody picked one team from the history of the NFL. And when I simmed that 1960 championship Eagle team,
Yeah.
they had mega problems against anybody that was a modern team.
Yeah.
Because the guy above me loves the 1960 Eagles, and he's my age too.
Yeah.
So, but he loves them. He's from Philadelphia. So I'm going to say St. Louis big.
Okay, here we go. And St. Louis does win big. Okay. Now, this could get a winless team out. They're the number 1 seed, if you will. They have the lowest SRS of $76, and they're hosting the Minnesota Vikings that almost won against the Ravens. Do you see an upset here, or do you see Minnesota, who was 3 points away from being out, blowing out Tampa?
I got to stick with my 31-21 prediction, Tampa Bay winning.
Okay.
And I'm going to say if they win, and I know I'm probably going to have egg on my face saying this, but I'm just thinking about Spurrier with all those West Coasting it down the, even though they're in the ocean in the East Coast or the Tampa Bay. It's the only team named after water. So anyway, I just see Tampa Bay. I don't know. I just when I sim them in other things, like when I ran those simulations, like on my thing, when I pit them against terrible teams, they were not bad. I think they were 1-0. They murdered the Patriots in 1990. Like, they blew them out. And I was expecting the other way. I was expecting this team to lose by 40 and 50 every game, that I would go like 20 weeks just trying any team to beat them. And they won like game number 1 or 2. And I'm like, oh, now what do I do? So I really have respect for this team. I think that, remember, 3 years, they almost made the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that their passing attack might be too much for Minnesota. I know I'm going to wear egg on my face after this, but I'm really trying to go out on a limb. I think Tampa Bay by 10.
I'm going to say Minnesota by 3. And here we go. Oh, Minnesota destroys them.
Oh, God, do I look horrible. Oh, my God. Oh, God. All the credibility I had. I tried so hard. We're 1 hour and 15 minutes into this broadcast. Craig, can we see the box score? Can we see if they at least threw the ball?
Sure. All right.
My God, come on, at least throw for under. Let's see. Tampa Bay, 211 yards. 3 interceptions. Could you go to the high?
and
Just that you
4
don't have to play
turnovers.
the highlights, but let's just see how they scored. Let's see. So Tampa Bay, the intercept,
Tarkenton,
1 yard. So 2 interceptions early, and then a 10-yard. Oh, it was the interceptions. That's what killed them. It's they scored after the interceptions.
okay.
And then that's why. I looked at the stats. When you take a look at the stats, take a look at these. When you take a look at the stats, it's 360 to 254. And yeah, the rushes are bad and the passing is bad, and I'm just trying to kind of make up for my horrible prediction. Nothing went right for them, but I don't know. At least
Time of
Minnesota punted
possession
8
too.
times.
Time of possession.
Oh, was that a horrible pick? Oh, so okay. Well,
All right.
I kind of learned my lesson there. I would like to. Well, I simmed them against the 90 Patriots in mine, so I think they're bad, but I think Minnesota is just stronger. I mean, I'd love to see them against 52 Dallas.
That would be interesting. You mean 62? Oh, you mean $52? Oh, okay, down here. Yeah. Yeah. Well, they're going to be playing the 69 Bears that got trounced by the '05 Houston Texans. But then again, they're a more modern team. I'm going to say Chicago wins by 10.
I'm gonna say I'm trying to recover out of this. I think 31-7 Chicago.
Okay, you're going to say Chicago wins bigger, but we're both going Chicago. Here we
Yeah.
go. 17-0.
All right. At least I get a little bit of credibility back. 52 Dallas. It's funny because they turned into the Baltimore Colts, and
They
Colts,
did.
the original Colts folded. People don't know this. People think they just came over from the AAFC and they were continuous. No, they went over and they went bankrupt. So they went to Dallas for like a year or two, and then they went back, or so they folded. Dallas got an expansion team,
Right.
and then went to Baltimore. It was weird because it's not continuous. It's almost like the Cleveland Browns, where the original team just went somewhere else, but didn't exist, and then all of a sudden they got one back from somewhere else.
Yeah.
There's something like that. You get it.
Yeah, let's go through the box scores quickly. Let's go back to Jacksonville, Tennessee. Let's just go to the stats here. And go ahead and tell us what you think, Chris. I'm going to give you the helm from this point forward.
All right, we're going to take a look at all these games. Jacksonville 48-17 a win. When you take a look at this, it was a good possession game for Jacksonville. We're going to be focusing on how bad teams are because we want to see how far they go in this tournament. So usually we see how good teams are and how they won and what they do down the field. But we're going to be focusing on how bad teams are. So I love it because I like to complain. So anyway, here we go. So you take a look and you can see that Tennessee right now gave up a lot of long drives, a lot of first down plays. Take a look at the third down conversions. They gave up 9 of 19. They couldn't make third downs themselves, but they turned the ball over 5 times. So it was 48-17. So probably a lot of that was based upon turnovers. They were all interceptions. So we're looking at a really bad quarterback there. So Jacksonville is going to have trouble. Cleveland and Denver, a 10-8 game. This is what you expect. These games are going to start looking like this. When you take a look, Denver, how bad are they? Well, I mean, rushing-wise, they're not that good. Passing-wise, they had 1 turnover, 2 turnovers in the game, 1 interception. But when you take a look, they punted 8 times. They can't make third down conversions. And, they just lost to a bad team. I think in this game, you look at the stats and say, well, how are they that bad? The Cleveland team was that bad. And then when you play even with a horrible team, you're bad. They scored 8 points. Who scores 8 points? That's a high school score. That's when you have no kicker. They're sick of it. They got suspended for grades or something. Cincinnati and Houston. Houston is going to be moving on. And, well, nobody really cares too much because they had the smallest attendance, I think, in the 1970s, 1972 Houston Oilers. And then they raised ticket prices for 1973. I saw that clip. But anyway, when you take a look at them, they rushed the ball very well. And they played a good game against Cincinnati. I don't think they're as bad as people think. They won the turnover battle, though, 4-1, and they still lost the game because they didn't respond. They had punted 9 times. They only made 1 of 2 in field goals. Only 2 of 13 in third downs. They're not making it when they have it, not keeping drives alive. We go to the next one. It's going to be very easily the game. Well, we already did the game we did. New Orleans and Detroit. Taking a quick look at New Orleans of 1980 against Detroit. Detroit won everything, but they were Detroit. So when you win all your stats, like 1983 Detroit against San Francisco and then missing the field goal in the playoffs, when you do stuff, when you're Detroit, you lose because of your name and not because of your stats. So they lost this game because of their name. So as we go to the next one, that's the only thing for Detroit there. They just lose because they're Detroit. New York and Buffalo. When you take a look at this game, I'm surprised. Buffalo, rushing-wise, only got 63 yards. New York had a good defense. Solid defense. They weren't bad. They just didn't really have an offense. They weren't cohesive. They fought each other and all that stuff. It wasn't very good. But you can see Buffalo, they were good at throwing the football. They had 5 turnovers, though. So I think in the next round, they're going to be favorites to win that game. When you have 5 turnovers and it's still 17-13, you have it tomorrow, which sucks in this league. But you should be good. Seattle and Kansas City, very quickly. You take a look at the stats here. How bad is Seattle? Well, not very bad. A lot of great rushes. How bad is Kansas City? Sorry. Kansas City gave up so much rushing. That's going to hurt because a lot of these teams are from rushing eras. And when you give up 140 yards and then 266 yards to a guy that was, I don't know what he's doing today. Go to any gas station and ask for an attendant and then ask for the autograph. You might get him. Dan McGuire, I think, the brother of Mark McGuire. I wonder who got the better deal of that. They sit around Thanksgiving Day table. Hey, how'd your day go? And Dan McGuire's probably glaring at him going, just shut up and eat the turkey. So here go the Steelers. They beat Oakland. Oakland's a bad team. Oakland's just so – look at that. Come on. The Steelers were 1-3. Look, oh, my God. Look at that. Look at the rushing. Look at the passing. Let's put it this way. The Steelers, the defense, they had Joe Green. He's a rookie, but he's the rookie Joe Green. 13 punts. Basically, they're just lining up. They gave up. The opening kickoff, they're like, okay, God, we got 14 minutes and 56 seconds left in the first quarter. So the Raiders are going to have – it's going to be hard for them to win. The Cardinals in Atlanta, Cardinals always sim well. Atlanta, I don't think is that bad. You can see a lot of passing us, but look at the rushing for Chicago. They always are heavy on the rushing yards for there. Look at the passing for Chicago where they put their fingers forward and they go with that oversized football. It looks like a electric football game every time they throw, but they don't have to throw another pass because they won. They're out of the tournament. They're like, hey, I'll watch you having beer next week. There we go. Hey, you can have beer too, but you're going to be playing. Washington beat San Francisco. Now, San Francisco, I think Steve DeBerg might have been quarterback here. Let's see real quick in the passing stats. Was it DeBerg? I was going to say Steptoe. There it is. Oh, yeah, you got Steve DeBerg. DeBerg, I remember, he played in the mid-'90s. All right, he's on Super Tecmo Bowl as a quarterback of the Kansas City Chiefs. So we're talking about a guy that, they're bad. You take a look at this. It was turnovers that killed them. It was turnovers. They're not a bad football team. They're, the field goals are okay. They turn the ball over. My God. Oh, yeah, this is going to be fun. Look at this. Carolina and New England. This is going to be fun. And notice there's no quarterback behind that Patriot on the helmet snapping the football because that guy's dead because they have no offensive line. Look at, but their passing is okay. I believe it was Grogan that year, his last year, before he needed a walking aid because of the offensive line there. But you look at the total offense, they were okay. The turnovers, they only had 1 turnover. But here's how bad New England is. They played a good game, a solid game. Yes, their third down conversion sucked, and they had 11 punts. But for New England, they were 20 of 40. They ran for, only 45 yards. That was terrible. They passed for 238. They had 269 yards of offense, and they lost by 20. They won the turnover battle 3-1. They lost by 20. They only had 1 penalty. They lost by 20. They're going to be a team that, we might see them in the championship game. lose by 20. New York beating Miami. When you take a look at this game, probably running because Miami, ironically, I think Miami beat the Patriots that year. I'm not sure. But I got to take a look. The Patriots, I don't know why, but Miami.
If I could jump in, Miami beat the Baltimore Ravens at the very end.
Oh, there we go. And Baltimore was going for the Steelers. They were going for, I think, a playoff spot. Miami had turnovers that hurt them. And when you take a look at this game, the rushing game, they got 98 yards, but they pounded the football and they did what they needed to do. The field goal kicking was good, but the third downs, I say Miami's a mid-tier team. I don't see them going all the way. Maybe next week they win and they can just go home and say, okay. The next one, very quickly, as we take a look at San Diego and Indianapolis, I would love to see a god-awful bowl between Indianapolis and New England. That would easily be the game of the week, easily. Indianapolis, so good. Jeff George, 342 yards. They had a great offense right there, 414 yards and no turnovers and everything, and they lose by 19. They lose by 19. They only punted the ball 8 times, and they still, that's the mark of a bad team. You play a good game, you lose by 19. So St. Louis beat Philadelphia. This is, I think, a contender of a team that's going to be the worst. They ran the ball well. They passed the ball well. They had 3 turnovers, okay. But notice the passing yards, 14 completions, 183 yards. So they're one of the old, when you throw the ball, you throw it 20 yards down the field. They can't make a field goal, though. They're 0 for 2. So in the close games, what are they going to do? Now, here's Minnesota and Tampa Bay. I needed an extra towel to get the egg off my face after I predicted a Tampa Bay win. I was thinking all week about this game, and I didn't realize they turned the ball over 4 times, even though they were an 0-14 team and did that every game. I was just hoping there. But anyway, third downs, they were trouble. Minnesota is out of there. Minnesota's like, okay, that's not bad. And then Chicago and Dallas. You know, when you're Dallas, they were okay, 388 to 223, though. Punting-wise, they had to punt 10 times. They were just bad. There's not too much to say about this game. They had 13 first downs. They balanced out their first downs, 5 and 6, and 2 were penalties. But when you take a look at field goals, they didn't kick one. But I'm wondering if they didn't kick one because they were down, never got in there, or their kicker is just so bad they went for it. And then third down conversion is not that great. So just typically, I think it's Dallas is bad. When we take a look at the bracket. Okay.
Hang on a second. I'm going to get there, and I'm going to call up the bracket, and then I can actually use what's on the screen here and tell you who's playing who, Chris.
Okay, so I remember, if I can get this right, Tampa Bay will play Jacksonville.
Hang on a second. No, Tampa Bay will play the Tennessee Titans.
Okay, Tennessee will play Tampa Bay will play Tennessee. I would say go ahead with the matchups, and I'll tell you my thought. I think that's going to be Tennessee a little bit more. I just see Tennessee being more versatile and Tampa Bay having trouble. So I think Tampa Bay, they're just playing a good Tennessee team. I just don't see that.
Okay, the next matchup is Oakland against Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta. Oh, Atlanta big.
Okay. So next we go with the Indianapolis Colts. And I'm trying to see the screen here. Indianapolis and Dallas, correct. Indianapolis, Dallas.
If Indianapolis gets a good first couple drives and gets a good couple turnovers, they'll lose by 25.
Okay.
I'm not saying that Dallas is going to blow them out, but I don't think Indianapolis – I think Dallas has more talent than Indianapolis, and I think when Dallas is in serious trouble that they're going to be able to pull one out. That's what I'm thinking. I'm not thinking it's a big blowout, but I'm just seeing Indianapolis. I'm just seeing Dallas is one of those teams that'll bow out. Just, the pride is going to take over. They don't want to keep going.
Okay, the next matchup is going to be Detroit against Miami.
Oh, oh God. Um, there was a function there to play only 3-down football in pro strategy football. And I used that one time and I tried a league. And one of the games was like 24-21 in punts. And the final was like 3-0. And that's going to be that game.
That's meant for Canadian football if you wanted to play Canadian football.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I tried that and it's like, oh my goodness. So I'm going to say that game is going to be a 4-down version of the 3-down version.
Okay.
It's going to be ugly. And I'm going to say probably because remember, Detroit loses games because they're Detroit, not because of what they do, because they're Detroit. So I'm going to pick Miami to win that game.
All right. We go to the opposite side of the bracket. The Dallas Texans from 1952 will be playing the 64 Denver Broncos as Cleveland escaped with a 2-point win and they actually get out of the tournament. So it's the Dallas Texans and Denver Broncos.
I'll take Denver by 28. I mean, Denver, Denver just too many weapons. Remember, they're playing against a bad team. And Dallas, I'm just wondering how they're going to even run the football. I mean, seriously, Denver can play 3 up front and 8 just covering. So I'm just going to pick Denver. Denver, I think, is going to be big.
Okay, the next matchup is Kansas City and San Francisco.
That's going to be a great game. That's going to be a great game. That's going to be a toss-up. I just see Steve DeBerg playing against his future team. I think that you know what? I think the 49ers, when they won their first Super Bowl, they weren't dominant. They still had some of these pieces. They had to get a few others. But, and even the 49ers at that time, in the early 80s, when they had that, 1980 or 81, they had to come back against the Saints when they were down, I think, 35-7, and they ended up winning the game. With that kind of stuff, I don't know. Kansas City, I think, turned the ball over, we said, like 5 times and only lost to Seattle by like a few points. I don't know. I just don't see Kansas. I see this is a game of 2 teams that got upset, really. And I just see Kansas City pulling it out. So I think San Francisco will move on.
Okay. The next matchup is whoops. Let me go back to this.
Yes, Philadelphia and Houston.
Correct. Philadelphia against Houston.
Oh God, that's another one. That could be a championship matchup. I would take Houston, and I'll just say that because Philadelphia is going to have a hard time winning a game. And I'm going to tell you this: I'll make my prediction that Philadelphia is probably going to play Dallas in the conference in the semifinals. Okay. I'm looking at these brackets. This is a very strong, actually, right side of the bracket. And the left side of the bracket has some weak teams. On the left side of the bracket, I'm going to see where's New England in 1990.
They're on the bottom of the right side, which is the next matchup. Actually, it's going to be Buffalo against New England.
Buffalo. Oh God, I hate to cut you off when you say it, but I just got to emphasize how much I'm going to pick Buffalo.
Yeah, I agree. I actually agree with that.
New England is in a weird position in 1990. They're so god-awful. They're the other type of god-awful. Number one, they have no identity as a team. Do you run the football? They're not really a great, consistent running team. Do you throw the football? Their quarterback is just it's passed them by at this point. They don't have a philosophy. They just have people out there at positions. And it's just like, well, what do we do next? So New England doesn't really have a great philosophy. Well, Buffalo and New England's defense is not the New England defense of the 1980s. No, they're not like the 85 or the 86 or the 87. Though I will tell you, New England, and this is weird, they always gave the Buffalo Bills trouble. Even Buffalo would go and kill everybody by a lot, and they'd give Buffalo so much trouble, and Buffalo would win the game. Like, now I know in the 92 and 93, they start blowing them out like 35-7. But it was like New England, it just They never beat them, I don't think, but it was just a trap game or I don't know what. But New England's terrible. I'm picking Buffalo just to run right over them.
Okay. All right. Well, we will hopefully attempt something like this next week, Chris, and we'll post it online when the next game is, and we'll also determine a game of the week matchup. But that's where we are with the first round of the tournament. Chris, thank you again for calling the game.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think next round we're going to have a couple good matchups, but I'm looking down in the tournament. I think we're going to have some very, very good matchups. We're going to have some good. Our next game is going to be a good one. But I think starting in week, there's 5 rounds to this. Round 3, it's going to get extremely interesting. And I do want to say that everybody looks at games between bad teams as like punt fests and stuff. But when you get a lot of really bad teams together, remember the wildest games in NFL history are usually bad teams, week 15 or 16, so it's really going to get bizarre in round 3, 4, and 5. And that's going to be fun to call.
Okay. All right, Chris. Well, thank you, and we'll catch you next time.
Oh, thank you very much for the opportunity. I look forward to it, and it's going to be fun. It is going to be a really good tournament, 3, 4, and 5. And you know what? It's going to be, I can just hear the flushing right now. It would be just so fitting and apt if the championship game had rain all over it.
We can manually do it, but we're not going to do it. Whatever happens, happens.
All right.
Chris, have a good night in your case. Have a good night.
Thank you very much. Have a good night from Chiang Mai, Thailand. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Have a good day. And we're off the air, sir. Thank you very much. I'll catch you next time.